course of this year, I mean, we have watched this conservative political behemoth with really no equal in conservative politics. We have watched it collapse at breathtaking speed. Started in April of this year with this reporting in The New Yorker. Quote, a small group of NRA executives, contractors, and vendors have extracted hundreds of millions of dollars from the organization's budget, from gratuitous payments, sweetheart deals, and opaque financial arrangements. Hundreds of millions of dollars they've taken out of the NRA? Hundreds of millions? And that reporting, based on federal tax forms and charity records and contracts and corporate filings and internal communications, that reporting appeared to kick off a whole series of lawsuits and counter lawsuits within the NRA itself and between NRA leadership and some of their contractors and their former leaders. The organization ousted its president, Oliver North. Yes, that Oliver North, who insisted at the time that he was a whistleblower, heroically trying to uncover terrible misbehavior at the NRA. The NRA insisted that he was actually an extortion artist. He was trying to launch a coup at the NRA. I mean, what's resulted from all of this drama at the NRA is a cascade of terrible and increasingly damning and embarrassing revelations about what happens to the donations that the organization gets from NRA members. The NRA, for example, apparently spent more than $200,000 of its members' donations on tailor-made outfits for NRA CEO Wayne LaPierre, including $39,000 spent in one day on Italian luxury suits at one Beverly Hills boutique. NRA membership dues and donations also bought him more than $250,000 worth of trips to a 5-star resort in Lake Como, Italy, and to the Four Seasons in Budapest, and to a really long, really nice trip in the Bahamas, including more than $200,000 on private jets just for the Bahamas trip, and more than $18,000 for a European chauffeur. Plus, there was the 10,000-square-foot Texas mansion the NRA very nearly bought for Wayne LaPierre and his wife, before apparently at the last minute the organization thought better of it. But the NRA did decide to spend tens of thousands of their members' dollars flying Wayne's wife's hair and makeup artists all around the country and putting them up in luxury hotels. And the reason all of this is not just embarrassing, but potentially is real trouble for the NRA, is that the NRA is a nonprofit organization, and there are rules, there are laws about how a nonprofit can spend its members' money. Take all of Wayne LaPierre's spending habits with NRA members' money, add that to evidence that hundreds of thousands of dollars flowed from the NRA to its own board members. That's them paying themselves. Add in the red flags about the way the NRA has diverted money from what's supposed to be its charitable foundation. Put it all together, it's no wonder the NRA appears to now be very worried about a ever-widening investigation by the Attorney General of the state of New York. And it's New York because New York is where the NRA is chartered. This summer, New York's Attorney General Letitia James subpoenaed more than 90 current and former members of the NRA's board. Just this month, Tish James issued the NRA itself a new subpoena, which, according to the New York Times, covers campaign finance, payments to board members, and tax compliance. If the NRA's behavior has been bad enough, New York could conceivably revoke its nonprofit status and shut it down, which is what the state of New York just did with Donald Trump's charitable foundation this year. More on that later. But meanwhile, I mean, this is a huge deal. This would be like a show-stopping deal at any other time. The once fearsome NRA, the most powerful entity in conservative politics, I mean, they're in free fall. They shut down their bombastic pro-Trump TV network this summer. Top officials have resigned. Board members and rank-and-file members alike are demanding answers. In the last election cycle in 2018, it was actually gun reform groups, gun control groups, that outspent the NRA for the first time anybody can remember. And I think it's fair to say that at any other time, in any other news environment, the implosion of one of the country's most fearsome conservative political machines in this maelstrom of self-dealing and petty recriminations and revelations about lavish wardrobe spending at Beverly Hills boutiques, I mean, we would be watching that slow-motion car crash endlessly. That would be the biggest political news story in the country for a long time. But with this precedent, in the middle of an impeachment, it's like just one more tree falling in the forest.
Hey there, I'm Chris Hayes from MSNBC. Thanks for watching MSNBC on YouTube. If you want to keep up to date with the videos we're putting out, you can click subscribe just below me or click over on this list to see lots of other great videos.